Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, February 21, 2022. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is projecting that Jamaica's gradual recovery from the economic fallout caused by the COVID-19 pandemic will continue in 2022, with gross domestic product to GDP growth projected at 4.3%. This is 0.4 percentage points lower than the forecast of 4.7% for 2021. The projection follows an Article 4 consultation between the IMF's executive board and local authorities. The fund's directors highlight that while Jamaica's economy is rebounding, renewed COVID-19 waves could lead to a more prolonged disruption of tourism, trade, and capital flows. Another risk is posed by the uncertain duration of global inflationary pressures, which have boosted inflation to well above the central bank's target range of 4 to 6%. According to the IMF's executive board, over the medium term, the Jamaica government will need to rebuild fiscal buffers, safeguard debt sustainability, and prioritize structural reforms that reduce poverty and boost potential and inclusive growth. Several roads in Clarendon North Central are to be rehabilitated under the National Works Agency, NWA's Maintenance of Secondary Roads program. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Everald Warmington, gave the update as he toured the area recently. He says the NWA will be conducting an assessment to determine the scope of works and provide an estimate of the cost. Among the roads targeted for intervention are Maypen to Soursop Turn, Rock River to Ginger Ridge, Suttons or Ennis Hill, Summerfield to Blackwoods, and the Crawl River Road. Work is also slated to be undertaken on the thoroughfare from Morgan's Pass to Colonel's Ridge. Minister Warmington, who has responsibility for the works portfolio, says these will add to several road improvements that have been undertaken in the parish since September 2020.
We have one project from Bellersgate to Boys Canton for $120 million. We do it in two phases. It just completed the first $60 million, and we have already tendered for the second $60 million.
Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for the area, Robert Morgan, has welcomed the developments, pointing out that many of the roads provide connection to areas in and outside of the parish.
Particularly the Woods Road, they call it here, but it's actually Chapelton Road from Guinep Tree to Soursop Turn. That's a big connector from the southern Clarendon to northern Clarendon and even to Cave Valley and St. Anne. That road being fixed is going to open up a lot of economic opportunities for the northern side of the parish, and it's going to also reduce the cost of transportation of goods and people.
Residents in the St. Andrew West Rural constituency now have access to a free community Wi-Fi hotspot. It was installed at the Golden Spring Square by the Universal Service Fund, USF, at a cost of $7.5 million. The Wi-Fi hotspot is situated in a commercial area which includes an early childhood center, a health center, 3 churches, and several businesses and vending areas. This is the first of 3 community Wi-Fi hotspots being established in the constituency. The other 2 will be situated at the Lawrence Tavern Center and Red Hill Square. Member of Parliament for the area and State Minister of Health, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn, says several teachers who are using their personal internet connections to conduct lessons will now be supported.
And let us not forget, there is a health center right across the street, right in front of us, that will also benefit. Lots of people, at least 150 persons, visit that health center on a daily basis.
Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn encouraged her constituents to also visit the Rocky Valley Community Center in the constituency to gain access to 11 brand new computers, which are free to use. They were also installed by the USF. Chief Executive Officer of the USF, Daniel Dawes, says the fund will continue to pursue its mandate of bridging the connectivity gap across the island. The USF is aiming to install 189 Wi-Fi hotspots by March 31. Government has allocated $899 million to continue a major program for the expansion of 19 secondary and primary level institutions during the new fiscal year. The work is being facilitated under the Primary and Secondary Infrastructure Program, which is designed to construct classrooms and other amenities for the elimination of the shift system and overcrowding at 17 high and 2 primary schools. The project also includes construction of an infant school. It is being financed by the Government of Jamaica and implemented under the Ministry of Education's National Education Trust, NET. This year's budgetary allocation will go towards continuing work at the Pepin, Black River, Cedric Titus, Newell and Bridgeport High Schools, as well as the JIS Infant School in Hanover. Construction will also commence at Westwood and Albertown High Schools in Trelawney, Homewood Technical High in Manchester, Port Antonio High in Portland, and Exchange All-Age in St. Anne. Several primary and high schools are also benefiting from upgrades to their electrical systems, while security fences are being constructed at other institutions. Details on the project are contained in the 2022-2023 Estimates of Expenditure, which is now before the House of Representatives. And finally, the more than 7,000 residents of Greenwich Town in St. Andrew are now able to enjoy 2 newly constructed parks and green spaces in their community. The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JIS, installed the spaces at the St. Andrew Primary School and the Greenwich Town Fishing Beach. The total cost of the project is $4.4 million, of which JIS provided $4 million, while the community made a contribution of $400,000. The work was executed under government's Integrated Community Development Project 2, ICDP. This project aims to improve the environment, aid in reducing the effects of climate change, enhance the aesthetics of the community, and promote outdoor activities and healthy, active lifestyles. Senior Manager of Social Development at JIS, Mona Sue Ho, says the initiative is part of JIS's ongoing commitment to transform vulnerable communities across Jamaica.
We are hoping that the residents see this as a long-term investment in their future. The importance of these spaces is paramount for the sustenance and well-being and the overall development of this community.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.